And I hit the center button.
Right arrow.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Matt. Obviously, I'm the only one that wore a sweatshirt today. And after my TED Talk, you might figure out a little bit why. We're going to start with some audience participation. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and you can raise your hand. Has anyone in here ever been nervous about giving a speech? Has anybody sweated when they've had an observation this year? Has anybody gotten a little sick if they had a deadline or an exam? No, some. Has anybody been so nervous they can't think straight? Has anybody been so anxious, day in, day out, day after day, their body doesn't relax and their mind never stops? Does anybody get nervous when they have to think about taking their anxiety medication? I do. So obviously I have my hand up a lot. I have extreme anxiety. As you can tell. And for people with extreme anxiety, they continually think about everything that ever was and everything that ever will be continuously. And while that sounds romantic, it's a little debilitating in life. On the good note, people with extreme anxiety also perform well in extreme situations. When there are challenging situations in life, traumatic events, people with extreme anxiety perform extremely well. Maybe that's why I'm becoming a teacher. I don't know. But it's not important about me or if you even care. What's important is that as teachers, we begin to understand students with anxiety and how to teach them and learn from them. What we have learned about throughout this year are how to deal with students with disabilities, learning disabilities, language situations, behavior problems, and we don't talk a whole lot about invisible disabilities, depression and anxiety. And so today I'm going to talk about anxiety, and my time's almost up. A United National Health study reports that just over 25% of kids 13 to 18 have been diagnosed with anxiety disorders. Not anxiety, but anxiety disorders. Now that's a low amount because most likely there's going to be more people would go see doctors and get diagnosed. We know that ADHD is skyrocketing. A lot of that is attributed to because a lot of people getting diagnosed with ADHD also have anxiety, but it's hard to diagnose anxiety. What we do know is that students with anxiety struggle through school. And it's very hard for teachers to pinpoint this. Events change, circumstances change, classrooms change, and anxieties mount and succeed. And a teacher cannot always figure out if that student has anxiety or if they're just crazy, or they have ADHD, or they're having a bad day, or something's going on at home, okay? But for that student, learning can be very challenging. Because the mind is racing so fast, the mind gets stuck. The mind taps out. And it's hard to learn basic lessons. It's hard to learn. It's hard to pay attention. It's hard to realize everyone else is wearing a polo and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Okay? It is a learning disability. Now, what we learn from that is that we as teachers have a responsibility to look into this and change some of our teaching strategies that can help. And they're not overly creative. Some of them consist of when you have a classroom, before and after, pay attention to your transitions. Pay attention to your transitions. Sorry, I've been trying to click this all day and it hasn't been changing. 2 minutes before class, 2 minutes after class. What are you doing? Okay, plan ahead. At the end of class, you can have meditation time, reflection time. Make that student feel comfortable. Instead of going from hot water to cold water, there's a transition, and it's an easy one. When they enter your gym, when they enter your classroom, your health classroom, have a movie, have something relaxing, have something inquisitive that they can look forward to. They're not scared if they know there's something of interest in there, but it helps them and their mind relax going from one stage to the next. Remember, students are always going to be nervous about having to run a mile or make a free throw or take an assessment. That's just being nervous, okay? Anxiety is when that happens every day, no matter if it's your best sport or your best activity or with your favorite friend. Another thing you can do is, a lot of students with anxiety react in a fight or flight mentality. So whether you're giving them activity, whether you're talking to them, understand that they're going to react harsh. They're going to be scared. Okay? So first of all, just relax. Let them be. People with anxiety know how to deal with themselves more than you do. Okay? Put them on extinction. Don't make the problem worse. On that same note, students should know how to handle themselves. Deep breath, self-talk. If they don't, help them, and then just remind them, hey, this is what you know how to do. You can do it. You can take care of yourself. Another thing we can do is always be prepared, be planned. We have to do this in every class, and we have to do this for every student, okay? Be consistent. But more importantly, for students with anxiety, that's so important. Because any small little change in their day-to-day activity is difficult for them. It just is. So know that if you're lazy, if you're tired, if you're not prepared, you are potentially hurting the students in your classroom with their mental and emotional disabilities. Generally, when you have students in your class that are suffering from depression, especially anxiety, be empathetic, help them with their coping mechanisms, and ask for help. I think, in conclusion, we as teachers, we get to meet a variety of students, and we have to teach all the students we have. More and more students are asking for us for academic help, language help, socioeconomic help, and we have to realize that we're going to always continually assess them, we're going to address them, we're going to evaluate them, and we're going to help them. But I think it's also important that we learn how to assess and address a lot of our children's needs that we can't always see, especially anxiety. Thank you.